Rowan College at Gloucester County is committed to doing everything it can to support military veterans and their families. On Veterans Day, the college unveiled designated parking to make it easier for veterans to attend classes and visit the campus. Immediately following the dedication, a ceremony was held honoring those who have served our country. I hope you enjoy these highlights.
Today, we are gathered to honor and pay tribute to our community of veterans. To all those who have served and to all those who are currently serving, thank you and your families for your sacrifice.
I have been told that there are currently over 150 veterans on this campus, including students, staff, faculty, and administration. Would all the veterans who are with us here today please stand if you are able so we can thank you for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, you are what makes this country so great. You are our heroes through wartime, peacetime, at home and abroad. Those of you who have worn the country's uniform deserve not only our gratitude, but our respect. We shall always remember the sacrifices made by you and your family.
We do everything we can to make this what we have now been recognized as a military-friendly college. The people that are here today that are employees of the college in student services, financial aid, the academic arena, all are here with the idea that they're fully dedicated to assist a veteran who seeks an education as possibly one small gift we can give to a veteran after they have served this country to allow them to get on with their lives and to assist them with the idea of, again, a higher education. So we're thrilled, we're proud to again be a military-friendly college, and we welcome the County of Gloucester officials and all of our other dignitaries here as we celebrate Veterans Day. It means a lot to me today, and it means a lot to all of us to really take this moment to just stop and think about those that served, again, this country.
So my students came to me during one of our meetings and asked if they could give an award to a veteran, do a Veteran of the Year. And for me, I was excited. My father was in the Army for 28 years. Myself, I will be starting my career with the Air Force in January. So for me, I thought it was a great honor for my students to do this.
Volunteerism, leadership, character, community service. These are all the qualities that are demonstrated throughout our Gold Club. This year, the Gold Club would like to present the Veteran of the Year Award to a military service student who has demonstrated integrity first, service before self, and excellence in everything they have done. This student has helped and participated with Operation Stand Down, Vet-to-Vet tutoring, and Students Veterans Organization. This student will also receive a certificate, a gift card, and their name plated on a plaque that will hang outside the Veterans Affairs Office. The first recipient of the 2017 Gold Club Veterans of the Year Award is Mr. Nicholas Smith. Please join me at the podium.
27 years ago, I was preparing myself to participate in a war. I never even dreamed of participating in a war. My part in the war, while it's not as dramatic as some, it did play a very important part in it. During Operation Desert Shield, as it started heating up, the Coast Guard was looking for volunteers. I was going over there, and I was participating with a Coast Guard port security unit. I had no idea where I was going, what I was doing, and who I'd be serving with. First part of my trip was to get everything squared away at home. As a 23-year-old kid, nobody tells you you're going to have to turn around, write out a will, get a power of attorney, and have your life in order within a matter of 2 weeks. And fortunately for me, I had a good support mechanism at home. The Coast Guard had a simple mission. We had to secure 3 ports in the Arabian Gulf. We had Dammam, Dhahran, and Al Jubail. I would eventually end up in Al Jubail. We spent a total of 22 hours in the air, longest flight I've ever been on. Hope I never have to do it again. But once we got to Dhahran, I remember distinctly walking off the plane, and as we walked off the plane, the heat from the desert just smacked me in the face. It was the weirdest feeling I ever had in my life. Some of the early culture shocks I experienced early on was the heat, the sandstorms, the way females were treated over there. Heat was averaging anywhere from 110 to 120 during the day, would dip down into the 70s at night. It was weird that we were wearing winter jackets in the middle of a desert. Some of the other issues we dealt with were the sandstorms, where it felt like your skin was just being sandblasted. The other thing that was weird was the lack of sunlight. Because of the oil well fires and where we were deployed, every day was cloudy over there. At nighttime, we would come in to take showers, and the oil would just run off of our skin because of the exposure to the smoke and oil. At this point, we started taking over the port area, and it was our area of responsibility was approximately 25 square miles. We had a port that was about 5 miles long, and we extended out into the Arabian Gulf 5 miles. So everything after the 5-mile mark, the U.S. Navy patrolled. Our mission on the water was simple. It was to secure the port. We had a lot of equipment, personnel, and munitions moving through our port. Our port was the last port before they entered the Iraq area, and they more or less sent everything through our port, merchant marine vessels, Navy vessels, everything you can imagine. Our job was to secure it, make sure everything moved through securely with no problem. Anything that came out of the wild, whether it was a terrorist incident or some local radical, we were charged with neutralizing the threat. As the months rolled on, the buildup kept going on. Buildup was in high gear, air war began, so did the bombings. We had a Harrier jet base right behind our Coast Guard base. So you can only imagine living on the end of a pier on a cot and having Harrier jets taking off and landing on a regular basis. There wasn't much time for sleep out there because it was just horrendous, the noise that those Harriers make taking off and landing. As the op tempo increased, so did our lack of sleep. And as I said, the buildup came to a head in January. The 4-day war began, and little did we know 4 days later that war would end. But our mission didn't. Our mission was still in place. We had to defend our area until we were relieved by the Saudi Coast Guard personnel. The one major thing that we got to do was go up into Kuwait and reopen the harbor as the war was winding down. And some of the sights and smells that we experienced going through Khafji and Kuwait, there was a road called the Road of Death, and it was a 5-mile stretch of road there, and it was all carpet bombed area. It was something I'll never forget as we proceeded through that area to open the harbor. As we opened the harbor in Kuwait, that was our final mission. We got our aircraft scheduled. We proceeded home. And when our first stop on the way home was Shannon, Ireland, where they refueled the plane and then refueled us with beer. We got back to New York, and I couldn't believe the welcome we got home. I got to participate in both the ticker tape parade in New York and D.C. and many other functions. New York treated us like kings. In closing, my experiences forced me to grow up a lot faster than a normal 23-year-old. I was exposed to foreign cultures and life issues that normal 23-year-olds will never understand. I saw things a 23-year-old should never have to see. Even after coming home, it still took time to get acclimated. Things we take for granted every day I had been missing were starting to hit me. My boss, Sheriff Hogan, was very understanding and offered me whatever time I needed to stay home and make sure I was ready to work. To this day, certain smells and sights will take me right back to where I was in 1991. After it was all said and done, I'm glad I volunteered. The brothers I served with, they are now a permanent part of my family, and there's a bond that never will be broken. Even though some of them have passed on, I will never forget those I served with. I would like to leave you with one quote from President Ronald Reagan. Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they've ever made a difference in the world. A veteran does not have that problem.
That's a special person, a very special person who decided to put everything aside to go out into the world, representing this great nation, knowing that at any time they could be called to a moment that might change their families' lives forever. To those less than 1% who've put our uniform on of this great country, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Today is for remembering. Stand in honor of them. Walk in their path of duty. Remember the cause and hold in your heart the cause of freedom. We remember today Veterans Day, our veterans. God bless them.